When we wanted to find out who we are as a country, we jumped into a camper van and went from Bluff to Cape Reinga looking for answers. Here's what we found.
Now, if you want to really understand the present, whether or not you want to try and shape the future, you really do need a good grasp of the past.
That's Bluff local and Otago University historian Dr. Mike Stevens of Ngāi Tahu. He says broadly held misconceptions are barriers to understanding what's happening today.
I mean, at its most dumbed down way, people have this view of the treaty right on the 5th of February, Māori are in charge, on the 6th of February, some sort of handover, on the 7th of February, Pākehā are in charge. That's not what happens. We know that then different tribal groups and pre-European parts in different places are going to have distinct regional cultures. And then these distinct regional cultures interact with distinct European visitors, traders, settlers at different times. So what you have are actually multiple narratives of encounter. One of the questions that historians of kind of race and empire look at think about natives and newcomers. When do natives cease to be in control of the newcomers?
It wasn't war as much as disease which shattered the Māori world. The European population boomed as Māori fell from 100,000 to 40,000. Land confiscations, the perceived betrayal of the treaty, the swamping of New Zealand by a new culture, the overwriting of a mental blueprint for life with alien understandings and culture. It continued right through to the suppression of the language and the urban drift which destroyed family and tribal linkages. The past, which explains the present, almost saw the destruction of an entire people, collateral damage on the road to modern New Zealand.
Well, the thing I understand about colonisation is there's definitely common themes that go across. Incarceration rates are generally horrible, health statistics are terrible, land is stolen, children stolen, all those sorts of things. I mean, they're fairly common right across the Indigenous world. Once you understand what all this stuff means, particularly in my, more formative years, late teens, early 20s, how that played itself out as I was growing up, it makes you angry.
Every statistic is damning. The prison population alone is worthy of a commission of inquiry to find how it is that 51% of all inmates are Māori, who make up just 15% of the population. It's hard for any culture to keep its feet under the tidal wave of colonialism. The settlements over land, introduction of the Waitangi Tribunal, development of kura kaupapa and kohanga reo to preserve the language, wānanga to resurrect knowledge and build an Indigenous evidence base, a myriad of events that have occurred to create a cultural renaissance. Far out at the end of East Cape, we met a young teacher at the kura kaupapa there who told us what it meant to be a child of the Renaissance.
My tipuna weren't allowed to speak Māori. They were punished for speaking Māori. I came through schooling, speaking Māori, living Māori, doing Māori customs. There were European people, Pākehā people, living here some years ago, new to the community, that disagreed to the school being established. Arrogance is a huge issue in New Zealand, and may I say the R word, racism still exists in New Zealand. People need to understand that we are one people. We are one. However, our values and our beliefs are not one.
Māori values and beliefs still struggle to be heard in New Zealand, but the Renaissance has allowed those voices to shout loud inside the Māori world. But that means there's still a large part of the country not listening.
I think that if we felt the pain of what Māori people feel in this land, if we actually let out the pain that we feel, or the anger that we feel, this land would not handle that. In terms of the statistics that we hear every day, like the prison population, they're a way of understanding what's happening systemically. Working with the people who are doing healing, they say that if we had a true just society where the colonial soul wounds of the past were truly addressed and truly healed, and where an equitable treaty relationship moving forward was in place, their view is we could heal this in one generation.